Questions and answers. If God was in the room and you asked him a question, what would it be? Well, here's one. Is the decision I need to make the right one? Man, we are faced with decisions all the time. Is it the right one? Am I doing the right thing? Is this supposed to happen? How do I know I'm making the right decisions? We've all had to deal with that, but let's see what the scriptures have to say. See, when facing a significant life decision, the scriptures encourage us to seek God's wisdom, not our own, rather than our own relying solely upon our own understanding, because there's always more you don't know than what you do know. But every decision, and God has the end from the beginning in mind when certain things arise that we just have to make a decision on. So it's God's wisdom we need to seek. And somebody say, well, just what's your gut? What's your gut telling you? Well, obeying my gut isn't always a good decision, and here's why. You see, my own personal desires, and we all have them, will oftentimes allow us to make poor decisions. In other words, I want to do this, go here, be that. I want to buy this or whatever it happens to be. My own desires, my own lusts, or my own personal wants oftentimes will overshadow right decision, and we'll make poor ones if it's just the gut talking to us. Remember, wisdom comes from God. Well, here's a roadmap: trust and direction. See, trust in the Lord with all your heart, not a portion of it. Lead not to your own understanding. In all your ways, every single way, submit to him, and he'll make your path straight. In other words, you're going to hear that still small voice. It says turn to the left, turn to the right. You're going to hear that. You'll understand that if you're seeking his wisdom. Well, if any of you lacks wisdom, James says, you should ask of God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. So if you want to know what God would have you to do, get in that book, seek wisdom, seek God's wisdom. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. We need to know oftentimes, what would God do? What does he want us to do? Well, there's peace as a guide. Okay, what does that mean? Well, don't be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Now, we just moved here a couple of years ago, and the house that we were trying to selling, it was a real estate nightmare. We did get rattled, and our real estate agent couldn't understand why we were not all worked up and stressed out because, yeah, we closed on this house the day we sold that house. It's happened more than once. We knew God had a plan. We knew God had a place. And the weirdness, the strangeness of this particular house that we're in now, oh, it's unique. It's very unique. And the real estate agent come to me later. She says, I've never seen people that didn't get rattled when it comes to where are we going to live tomorrow. She said, I've never seen anybody go through what you went through. What she didn't understand is we didn't lean in our own understanding. We knew God had a plan. And with two dogs, two of us living in a pickup truck, that just wasn't going to work. God knew that. And yeah, miraculously, we got through it. Well, and then it says surrender the outcome. If their hearts, human plans their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. In their hearts, humans plan their course. The Lord establishes their steps. That book, yeah, that book, there's your guide. God is your source. That's your guide. Wisdom comes from reading that book. Wisdom comes from prayer. Wisdom comes when you ask God, what shall we do? I trust that's helped you.